How's it going? It's Nathan here, and welcome to the session. So for today's session, I wanted to talk about something which could be potentially confronting for you, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing because that's my job as a coach. It's to help you challenge the way that you think so you can have new realizations, new insights, gain new perspectives on what you're currently doing in life so you can change what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and ultimately change the results that you're getting. Today's going to be a little bit confronting because we're going to talk a little bit about death, but not in the way that you think it. Today's topic that we're talking about is how you need to kill the person you are to become the person that you need to be. I once heard that from someone. So I was doing an online marketing program, and this was one of the things which had popped up in it, where the person that I was learning from was sharing their story. And I'd heard this kind of before as well, but the way he phrased it was very confronting when you think about it. And he said, you have to kill the person you are to become the person that you want to be. No, that you need to be. And that sounds pretty harsh because you think, well, I don't really want to kill myself, but it's not like that. We are always doing things which aren't serving us. Part of the reason why I envision that you're watching this video right now is because there's things in your life that you're not happy with. There's things that you're doing that you're not happy with. And when you do those things, it doesn't feel good to do them, whatever it may be. Could be poor eating habits. It could be excess television time, game playing time. Maybe it's just doing things which aren't serving you. Whatever it is for you. I mean, we're all in different boats and we're all got different things going on. But if we really want to make those changes that we talk about, if we really want to have either more of a successful life, if we want to make more money in our life, if we want to start a business, a side hustle, doing passion work, or something like that, then things need to change. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person that has said this to you. But the problem is that we don't do it. Or maybe we convince ourselves that we want to do it or that we're going to do it, but we never actually take those steps. Or the steps that we do take end up being steps which just aren't serving us, or they're not the correct ones. So today I want to hone in on that aspect and give you some actionable steps which will help you begin to become the person you need to be by killing the person that you are. Now, just as a caveat here as well, I think it's important if we talk about that, we're not talking about you totally changing in every way, because underneath it all, you're still you. You have your own set of values, you have your own set of beliefs, you've got your own upbringing. You're still you, and that part of you is always going to be there. What we're talking about is getting rid of the things which aren't serving you, and sometimes that also, in fact, no, not even sometimes, a majority of the time, that also means that we have to look at things like your current values, look at your belief structures. Because there's going to be some of those which might not be serving you right now, or they're going to need to be changed in order for you to be that person that you want to become. I've had to do it on my own journey across many different things, exploring my own values, like what's important to me. These days, as a 40-year-old man with 2 small kids, family man, my priorities are very different. My values are very different to what they were 10 years ago when I was 30, and even 20 years ago when I was 20. 20 years ago, my values were all about very self-indulgent, going out partying, not really caring about the future or anything like that. These days, my values are more aligned with my family, looking after my kids, looking after my future, having some focus on that, and actually taking steps to create it. Same with my own beliefs as well. My beliefs, both positive and negative, are very different to what they were 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. 20 years ago, part of the reason why I was so self-indulgent and I was most focused on partying and going out and just caring about myself in a negative way was because I had self-beliefs. I had self-doubts that weren't serving me. They still do crop up from time to time now, but because I've spent the last decade or so working on myself, they're certainly not as prevalent as they have been before. And it's certainly because I made that choice, is that I want to become someone different, someone new, someone better than who I was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And it is a journey, it does take time, but I did realize I had to kill that part of me. I had to kill that part of me that didn't care about my health, that didn't care about my future, that didn't care about anyone else around me. I had to let that go. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do today as well. And so with that, I'm going to ask you the question. And take some time to really think about this and write this down. Because I guarantee the list can be quite confronting when you start to think about it. But start making a list of the things that you're doing and the parts of yourself that don't serve you. Start with the actions that you're taking. Maybe it's too much Netflix, too much time in front of the telly. Maybe it's too much gameplay, too much wasted time with people that don't help you, don't serve you in your life. Maybe it's involving yourself in gossip and confrontation with other people. Maybe it's thriving off hearing gossip from other people and provoking those type of things, whatever it may be. Once again, this can be quite confronting, but when you can put it on pen and paper in front of you, it gives you the opportunity to at least get it out of your mind and start to bring it right in front of your face so you can see the actual changes that you need to make. So if you need to pause the video now, go ahead and do that, or you can do it later, but I'd recommend taking action now and doing something about it now. But pause it. Pause the video now and start writing those things down. Once you have done that, focus on the parts of you that you don't like so much. Now, this isn't a witch hunt to help you feel bad about yourself or give you that excuse to feel bad about yourself. I know from my own experience that when someone may say something negative towards me, or I hear some feedback about my own performance or something like that, that gives me an excuse to feel bad. And if I give myself an excuse to feel bad and upset and sad about it, that gives me an excuse to not do anything. And then next thing you know, I've just been very self-indulgent in the way that, you know what, I've used that as an excuse not to take those steps. So once again, if you need to pause the video, do it. But now it's time to look at yourself. What is it about yourself that you need to kill, that you need to get rid of, that you need to change? Perhaps it is that negative self-talk. Perhaps it is you've got a low self-esteem. Perhaps you feel like you're not worthy. Perhaps you feel like you've got a lot of fear about being judged or fear about taking that first step. Whatever it may be. And just remember, this is not an excuse to feel bad. This is a positive exercise to help you bring awareness to the things which you may not actually consciously be aware of. Do you know what I mean? That this is your basic operating system that you're operating from, and it's stopping you from doing those things. So take some time and just think about it. Spend as much time as you need and really think about the things which you need to extract from yourself and let go. Now, the other part of it is this self-identity. The self-identity, the labels you put upon yourself that are not serving you, that are holding you in place, that ultimately you need to get rid of as well, that you need to kill, you need to let these go, because a label is just that. It's just sticking a label on you, and a label can really stop you from doing things. It can really halt your progress. Same with self-identification. It's like, well, I'm this. Well, when did you decide to become that, right? One of the biggest things I've come across is people and clients who come up to me and say, look, I need motivation. I don't feel motivated. I'm not a motivated person. And I have to call bullshit on that because it's not true. They are motivated for certain things. They may not just be able to motivate themselves for other things. So it's not that they're a unmotivated person. It means that they're just not seeing where they are motivated. But that's a label. That's a self-identification. Well, I'm not motivated. Well, that's not true. So take some time again now to start thinking about what are the labels that you're putting upon yourself that aren't serving you. Is it that I'm not confident? I'm not motivated. I'm not smart. I don't have the tools. I don't have the knowledge. Whatever it may be. What labels are you putting upon yourself? And while you're doing it, also think about the labels that other people have tried to put on you or they have put on you in the past. Particularly if you're going back to your childhood and in school. You know, do they put upon the label? Put the label upon you where you can't learn. You're not smart. You're not an A student. You're a dunce, whatever it may be. Once again, this can be confronting for you, and if it is, good. Welcome the confrontation. Welcome it. Because this is how we grow. This is how we develop. This is how we learn more about ourselves. So we can set up strategies to move beyond it and become someone so much better. Take some time now. Grab some tissues if you need to, if something's happening inside you. If it is, let me know. Leave a message, leave a comment, whatever it may be. Take some time and focus on that, because when you come back, we're going to set you up with some strategies to help go beyond it. So if you've taken some time now to really focus on those aspects and those key things, the labels, the self-identification that you're putting upon yourself, the beliefs, maybe the values which you need to get rid of, the actions that you're currently taking which you know aren't serving you, that you need to stop. Now it's time to focus on moving beyond those. And this is where we start creating vision. We don't just talk about vision about the life that you want to create, because it's the person who creates that life, it's the person who's going to be operating around that life, which is most important, because that's where it all stems from, and that person is you. So now that you've got your lists there, I want you to look at those, and it's very simple. We're going to flip them. Don't just flip the page over. I'm talking about, we're going to see the opposite end of that spectrum. These are all the things that we need to stop. So ask yourself, what are the things that I need to do? What do I need to be so I'm not that anymore? And the opposite is usually the case. If I'm not smart, if that's the label, then I need to increase my intelligence. I need to learn more. I need to become a reader. I need to upskill. These are the actions that I'm taking. I'm spending too much time on the television. I'm watching too much Netflix. I'm playing too many games, too much scrolling on social media for no reason, too much indulging in gossip. Then I need to stop that. What do you need to do instead? I need to utilize that time more efficiently. Work on myself. Once again, read more. No longer engage in gossip. Focus on service. Take some time and really think about it. What is the opposite to every single one of those points that you have on the list? Write down the opposite and begin with that. Because once you can do that, and I'm not asking you to do all of this stuff all at once at the same time. It doesn't work like that. It's slow, incremental baby steps which get us to where we want to do it. As long as you're doing something every day, that's all that matters. But once you've got that, then you can start to create the avatar or the version of yourself. This is who I am now. This is the person. Once you've got that, then you start asking the question, what does that person look like? What am I going to look like when I'm like that? Am I going to be standing up more confidently? Am I going to be better dressed? And am I going to look differently? What do you look like when you're that person? What do you sound like? What do you feel like? What current emotional state do you feel when you're that person? And don't put it in the third person like, oh, I'm going to. You say it now. This is who I am. Now that I've killed the old person and I've become this new person, this is how I feel. Do you feel confident? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel strong? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel like you can take on challenges? Really get into your emotional side. Ask yourself, how do I feel? Once you've got that, it's very simple. What is one step that I can take today to become that person? You ask yourself, you ask your unconscious mind, you listen to the answer that comes. And then all you have to do is just take that step. What is one step that will help me realize this person? That will help me become this person today? It might be go for a walk and contemplate what you've just done. It might be write in a journal. It might be reach out to someone. Whatever it is, just take that step. And then all you have to do after that is ask that same question the next day. What's one step that I can do today? What's one step that I can take today to help me realize this version of myself? Now, I hope this session has been a powerful one for you. If it has, please let me know. Leave a comment below. Send me an email, whatever it may be. If this has been confronting for you, I want to hear about it, because this is the type of confronting work that helps us get the most growth. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see you back here for the next session.